So it's been a few days since the start of the new season, and admittedly, I think it's actually pretty good. Well, now, hold your horses. Before you go and type out a multi-page essay in my comments talking about how much you disagree, I do think this season has its flaws, just like every other season. But as it stands at the moment, this early into the season, I think there's a lot more positives in this season so far than there are negatives. And in this video, I'm gonna talk all about them. But first, I'm gonna ask you to subscribe and leave a like on this video, as I want to continue making Overwatch 2 related content that's not only entertaining, but educational too. I also actively encourage you to leave your thoughts on this season in the comments too. I want to see what you guys think so far about the season. Do you like Throne of Anubis? Do you think Juno's been tweaked too much? Go ahead, whatever you think, I'd love to hear. I'm going to crack this video open by talking about the negatives because whilst there aren't that many, they're actually pretty glaring. The first one is possibly going to sound a bit petty, but I'm going to need you to hear me out on this one. Some heroes received a slight health nerf to make it easier to secure the kill on them, which, you know, seems fair at first. Maybe they were just a bit too mobile to secure the kill easily, so them having less health makes it easier to take them out properly, as admittedly, all of the heroes that receive this nerf are very mobile. It's good at base value, but then you realize that it means one-shot combos are possible again for other heroes. Hanzo can one-tap headshot again, Junkrat can mine combo again, I'm pretty sure Venture got their old shot-dash melee combo back. The latter of that list is fine because it does take a little bit of skill to pull them off, but Hanzo one-shot being back for some heroes but not all is so annoying. Remember how a few seasons back they nerfed one-shot heroes because the entire community were complaining about how much it was being taken advantage of? Why are they reverting it? It does just kinda seem like a skill issue change. Yeah, it makes it easier to kill some more mobile enemies, but this shouldn't be the way it's done. The way it should be done is by forcing your players to get better at the game so their aim is tuned to the point where they can easily kill these more mobile heroes with the old amount of health they had. This isn't fixing a problem, it's creating a bigger problem. I don't think many people were actually complaining about this. Now, I might be parroting flats a little bit here with this, but the next thing I want to talk about are some unnecessary damage tweaks because it feels like we're going in a loop with the meta. Sombra's Virus now does 35 damage on impact, up from 25. Orisa's Javelin now does 80 damage on impact, up from 60, and KarQ, whilst no longer having a crit multiplier of 2.5 times, deals a base damage of 60, up from 45, which actually takes her crit damage from 112 to 120. One question: why? No, seriously, who looked at these three and decided, you know what, these guys need some damage buffs, because did they? I swear they just forget how bad of a state the game was in when these heroes were in the meta. No one, and I mean no one, actually enjoyed Orisa meta and getting skewered from halfway across the map. They keep buffing heroes that don't need it and then not nerfing them when they're too strong. The exact same thing happened with Pharah last season, and they haven't done anything to address how good she is now. Sure, they buffed Lucio so he does 22 damage per shot now because Lucio mains were complaining about how weak they were, but the main complaint was that he deals less knockback than the enemy AC-130 who currently turns you into a human pinball if you're unlucky to be on the receiving end of her knockback missile. It's crazy. Please stop doing this. Now to talk about the positives, because this season is surprisingly off to a really fun start. Juno, whilst being slightly weaker than she was during the playtest, is a ton of fun and adds a unique twist onto team comps like Dive and Rush. I'm telling you, her ult combined with just basic Winston going in and zapping everything is amazing. Clash is surprisingly growing on me too. Throne of Anubis is gorgeous and flows really well without harming anything from the old map, except maybe lore complications, but it's nothing major. Lore in this game is dead. And I feel the same way about Hanaoka. Both of these maps do the original map's justice, and the gameplay of the mode, whilst slightly confusing at first, works really well in quick play. In comp, it's a bit of a weird one because the matches can last for around 3 minutes sometimes when the queue could be for like 10. It's weird, but it's nothing that actually harms the game. When it comes to the battle pass, I already talked about the skins in a previous video, so TLDR, they're all cool, and a mythic is one of my favourites so far. Also, there's tons and tons of JoJo references out the wazoo, so giant W for that. Full collab when? please, I need it. But that just about does it for this video. So, to summarize, I think we were wrong about this season. From the trailer, it looked pretty lackluster and boring, yet I'm actually having a blast again, playing around with Juno and Clash. Yes, some of the nerfs and buffs were a bit unnecessary and just flat out bad, I'll tell it how it is. But we'll overlook those for now because it hasn't completely broken the game, it's just made things slightly more annoying depending on team comps. But that's why we play counters and just stomp the gimmick characters. If I can't have fun, no one can. You're playing Orisa and Sombra, so fuck you. Anyways, thanks for watching. Once again, I'm gonna ask you to like this video as it lets me know that you find these videos not only to be helpful, but entertaining. Like I said at the start of this video, let me know how you're finding this season so far. Are you enjoying it, or do you think it's actually pretty lackluster? Finally, have a nice day or night if you're watching this at night, and make sure to check out my other videos. Not only will I appreciate it, but you might too.